All right, Justin, we got to talk about your Super 10 because some of your Super 10 teams had a rough night to start. Yep. Step to your side for me because we got to start with number 10, Creekside. They just barely got in, and they start the year with an L.
And you know, it was, tough game tonight. Palm Beach Central, state semifinalists last year, no shame in it. Creekside coming off a 9-3 season. You put up 48 points in the game you need to win. Knew that defense would have a little trouble with a lot of graduates, but again, not a bad showing for Creekside.
But they might not be in your Super 10 next week. Might be a little bit of a shakeup on the back end. Number 9, Bishop Kenny. We know they'll be there, though. Nice win to start the year for them.
Perfect for you. Wanted to see James Reeser and Rodney Tisdale going head-to-head, and I think James gets the W tonight for Bishop Kenny.
It's good to see the Crusaders' offense pick up right where it left off at the end of last season. Now we have to talk about UC. Now, this was one that we knew they had a tough matchup. This was a Super 10 type of matchup. Your 7-8 teams going head-to-head. Only one of them could win, right?
We knew it was going to be a slugfest, a defensive battle. It was just that. Did not expect UC to win this game. Again, they're rebuilding an entire team. Desiree Riles, Orel Gray, who was on the sideline tonight watching. He's in college now. He's our player of the year last year. Going to have a tough road to replace Orel, but not a bad loss for UC. Great showing by Raines. Mark Miller, my goodness, he ran strong tonight for the Vikings.
You always know the Vikings are going to show up when it's a Friday night time for game day. UC's definitely going to have a tough time replacing Orel Gray. Now, Mandarin. We talked about them early in the show. They're one of the most physically talented teams in our area, just stacked. And they started the year, they didn't let us down.
That's right. You look, you see it, the green and orange on there. It should be blue for blue chips because they are filled with those blue chippers. Tramel Jones, Jamie French on fire tonight. They beat a very good Fletcher team. Man, to put it all together. Could they do it? That was the question. They answered that tonight.
All right, now we got to move into the top 10. There may be, or top 5, I'm sorry. There may be a little bit of a shakeup here. I was at this game. Bulls St. Augustine. This was one that normally it goes the Bulls' way, but tonight, a little bit of a different showing. Big win for St. Augustine.
The 4th year in a row these teams have played. Bulls had won all 4 of those previous games. And St. Augustine had been close, but it had been Bulls blowouts in the past. But I have thought all season long, off season long, that St. Augustine was poised for something big. They're reminiscent of the 2003, 04, 05 teams. That 05 team won a state championship. This team loaded with underclassmen. I think they will get there by the time those guys are seniors.
When we talked about this matchup earlier in the week, I had a Bulls supporter ask me if St. Augustine had ever beat them. Now, easy answer, yes, they beat them this year. There you go, in that conversation. All right, let's move into the top rankings here. We're in the top 3. Bartram Trail, we had a little bit of a flip up here earlier. Bartram Trail actually won that game 20-17. Good way for the Bears to start the year, kind of picking up where they left off, even though they have a new head coach.
New coach in Corey Johns, same role players, star players. Riley Trillo, quarterback. He's going to Wake Forest. Latham Biddle, good kicking game. Bartram right back. You knew exactly this was going to be a tough game. Bartram, Ponte Vedra, always clash-type games. We saw it tonight. Great win for Bartram and a good showing by Ponte Vedra.
Bartram always has enough offensive firepower to get the job done, it seems like. Now, this number 2 team, Bradford, they started the year with this win, but this is a team you gave some consideration to putting in the number 1 spot, right?
Absolutely. When you're coming off a 12-2 state semifinal season, you're bringing back Torrin Brazell, Chasen Clark, Khalil Cummings, everybody on Bradford. You thought they were going to have a bigger win than tonight, but again, 9 shutouts in 14 games last year. They're picking up right where they left off.
Hey, you know, when the defense is legit, the defense is legit, and that's the kind of thing football coaches love because when you pack it up, it goes on the road. Now we have to talk about our number 1 team, Trinity Christian, and they've been in that number 1 spot for a while, Justin, and after the win tonight over Ed White, I don't see necessarily a shakeup coming their way.
Right, and again, Trinity Christian, almost a state semifinals last year. You're upset by UC, but again, Colin Hurley, Miles Burris, Darnell Rogers, Cam Anderson, the guys are loaded on Trinity. Verlin Dormany's been there for almost 35 years for Verlin Dormany. 40 years would be bad. And so about 35 years for Verlin. He gets it going. You expect Trinity to be there standing at the end. They're number 1. They're going to stay number 1.
They're going to stay number 1.